Good evening, everyone. We're going to talk about a few things. Some things that's been bothering me. And I decided to do it on the OmniCast because it's a title that I feel is good for the OmniCast teachings. But before we get started, I'll be right back with you.
Damn, man, they got me in there, motherfucker. Man.
Okay, okay.
I do apologize. This is where this is where I was supposed to be. All right, I'll be right back with y'all. Well, well, well. Good night to everyone. Good night to everyone. Um it's been a hard day for me. And one of the things that makes these days extremely hard are people. I was just chilling, and I got an obnoxious knock at my door after I got home from being at the hospital all day. Very tiresome day. And then, as always, whenever I try to be nice and just talk, it always blows up in my face. And I'm starting to realize why. I'm starting to realize why I'm at odds or could be at odds with so many different people at one time. And it never used to be like that before. My good and plenty. I love them. You know, I try to consider myself always a truth teller. That's right. I can't change that when it's live. I like to consider myself a truth teller because there literally is nothing to lie about. I was blessed, born with a great memory. It's always been said about me. Damn, you remember that? Yeah, I remember that. But one thing with my memory that I never had a need to do was make up lies. You know, we just had this conversation, and this is why I brought it up. And this was going to just be a this is me because I wanted to get this shit off my chest. But I feel like this is a learning experience. People look at the truth as when you're telling it to make yourself look good. Like when I say I don't lie about shit. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're just so innocent about everything. You just gave two different examples of two different things that don't even closely mean the same thing. I never said I was innocent about everything. I said I don't lie about nothing, which means I'm going to tell the truth, whether if it makes me look bad or it makes me look good. It doesn't matter because truth doesn't bend. It's one of the only thing out there that there's only one of. So technically, that makes the truth unique. You got the old cliche that I adamantly disagree with, where they say there's two sides to every story. No, there's not. There's one story. When we accept the fact, or it as a fact, that there's two sides to every story, we accept that people are going to tell some lies. I say there is only one story, but most of the time you have two different people telling two different versions of it, which means there may be some truth in there and there may be some lies in there. They both would have to be in there for two people to have two different stories, if there's any common ground in the story. I'm going to tell any story that I'm involved in the way I recollect the story. And most of the time, I'm going to tell it in chronological order. And I'm going to tell it the way it happened, regardless of if I look bad or if I look good. Because truth matters, man. We were just sitting here a little bit ago telling a story. There's three of us talking. Two talking, telling a story. Completely not how it went. And it was about an old girlfriend of mine. And I remember this day perfectly. I wasn't trying to look good telling the story the way it went. I wasn't trying to be innocent. But one day, a girlfriend of mine pulled up to the house. And the girl that I was living with came outside doing a bunch of hooting and hollering. And the girl that I was involved with said, just get up with me later when you don't have all this drama, and peeled off. And left. And then the girl I was living with came out there yelling, yeah, you better run, you better do this, that, and the third. So you also had another person that got a glimpse of that story and remembers all the yelling and sits there and acts like she ran somebody off. No, you didn't. I knew this girl of mine, which was one of the main things I loved about her. She did not do drama. She knew I had another girlfriend. She knew what me and her had. And she didn't want bothered with the other ones. When it was me and her, it was about me and her. We did not talk about others that I was with. That was established very early on. And there was no problem with it. None. When I came over there with her, I was with her. She never wanted to spend time talking about some other broad. Nobody ran nobody off of from anywhere. She seen her coming out the door, hooting and hollering, and she looked at me, just looked back at her with a smirk and looked at me and said, "Get up with me later when you deal with all this drama." And just left, her and her girlfriend. That's exactly what happened. That's not me trying to look like no angel or trying to make anybody else look bad. That's just what happened. Truth. And this is some shit that's being said. And the crazy thing about it, it was like 23 years ago. What? And you trying to reminisce on something? Because you're reminiscing wrong. So then I'm sitting there listening to a whole lot of stuff that's being said in this little short visit I had. People can live in a fantasy world, man. They really can. They can concoct stuff in their head and tell themselves a story for so long that it's their truth. Should it matter that it's a lie if it's their truth? Absolutely it should. And it doesn't matter if it's the day after or 20 years later. You got to stand on the truth. You know what a liar is? A man lies when he doesn't have any truth to tell. And even though that may sound basic, that's deep. I don't have any reason to lie about a goddamn thing. Especially at this point in my life right now. Have I embellished stories in the past? Sure. Have I told lies in the past? Sure. In the moment, I have. Guilty as charged. But when that shit don't matter no more, what's the sense in lying? You know, it's kind of like when you did some sneaky shit when you was a kid. You never told your parents because you got in trouble. And then one day when you're grown and you're visiting with your parents and y'all talking, and you finally tell the truth of what really happened with something, like, and your parents like, man, that's the first time I heard that. But there's no drama, you know. There's times that they may have had a look on their face like, man, I really thought it was something else. But hey, you know, it comes a time where the truth is just what's important. I'm at a point in my life now where I refuse to lie about anything. I do. It's not going to get me nowhere, and it's not going to get anybody else anywhere for me to go around lying. And I'm realizing that truth telling causes chaos. It causes arguments, yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. Why in the fuck are we yelling and screaming over the truth? I'm trying to be chill because I already know the story. And you trying to shut me down by speaking louder because you don't know if what you're saying is the truth or not. I feel we live in a different world today. I do. I feel we live in a more honest world today. But with honesty, it's like you have to leave headroom for others and their honesty. So here's an important question. If someone is 100% telling their truth and they don't remember it any other way, and they're telling it how they're remembering it, regardless if it's right or wrong, regardless if it's not true, are they lying? I would have to say no, but I would still have to say that's not how it went. Because when things are personal to me, and when I say personal to me, I I pay close damn attention. Shit. I could tell you what kind of socks I bought 10 years ago. I could. I used to go to Gabriel Brothers and buy that 6-pack Nikes. White socks that had the Nike check, or you could get them in black. And 5 years before that, I used to go to Foot Locker and buy them ankle socks that were like $8 per pair. But they were dope. They had Jordan ones, they had Nike ones, they had all the different ones. They used to have them hanging up. One pair, they were like $8.99 for one pair. They were dope. It's the truth. And the other reason why I feel truth is so important today even more important than what it was, let's say, 12 years ago, because of the world we live in now. We live in a world now where we can't trust government. We can't trust law enforcement. We can't trust departments of justice. We can't trust any branch of government. We think everyone, as soon as they open their mouth, is lying. And they are. So, us as people, we need to set an example. That this lying shit is passe, man. That's old, man. The fuck you lying for? That's why, like, somebody, what the fuck you lying about? Why you lying? You have no risk. It's just me and you here talking, and you sitting here lying. What risk do you have? Was somebody gonna take off the belt and whoop you? Tell the truth. Please. And go or get to a place in your life where you enjoy just being honest. You see, I had someone tell me tonight that they looked up my name and they know what it's all about. That they Googled Lucifari Vera and they know what it's all about and what it comes from. I said, well, that's impossible. Because if you Google Lucifari Vera, the only thing you're going to get is me. I mean, not like no famous shit, not nothing, but there is only one Luciferi Vera. Let's see. Look, I ain't got no reason to lie. Starts coming up, talking about my live videos, shows my videos, shows my Instagram page, my YouTube page, my videos, more of them. This is Me podcast on there. Then you get something on Vibrate Vera Lucia. Uh, but if you Google some my name and you got anything else but what I tell you, and you ain't Google my name, you might have Googled something that you thought was my name. Lucifer, which that's not my name. Luciferianism has nothing to do with my name. In fact, if you type in Luciferianism, you ain't going to see nothing about me. Because it's not coordinated. I have no interest in being a Luciferian. But I do know that Lucifer is the ruler of this world. It's written. But Luciferians aren't um using Lucifer as anything but the brightest and most perfect being as an angel. You know what Luciferians do? They seek constant knowledge. Every single day, they seek knowledge. They seek to learn. It's not evil. If a Luciferian was standing on a mountaintop, they would want to study every geometrical shape, every square inch, how it was formed, how nature done it. I mean, they study everything that they come in contact with. They're seekers of knowledge because they want to be perfect like Lucifer. Because by the Christian's own Bible, God made Lucifer perfect. The most beautiful angel ever created. I said something earlier when I was talking to somebody, and I had mentioned something I had said when I had said something about Lucifer, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll just let Lucifer decide. That's just my way of saying letting the universe decide. But then I said to her, I said, but it has nothing to do with Lucifer, like in the Bible. And she was like, nah, you probably talking about that handsome guy from the show. And she was like, hell, I'll follow him. And I just thought it was funny because Lucifer was the most beautiful angel, the bringer of light. And he is still the light bearer. But God gave him control of earth. Do you know, in all reality, Lucifer is the only person that can actually grant you anything you want. He wants your spirit, he wants your soul in return. But he can give you anything you want. You perform the ritual and you go through the channels you have to go through, and you'll come face to face with him. And you just tell him what you want. Most people want fame and money and fame, and they get it. But most of the ones who wanted money and fame just died. There's something they didn't do right. But there's another one that wanted money and fame, and he's living a long life. Because when you sign that blood pact, if you just follow it, Lucifer never bother you. So when you start trying to move away from it, when you go and try to get a preacher or a priest to get your soul back, your soul's gone, man. And that's when it'll kill you. And that is truth. Look, man, it's been a hard day for me, man. I don't know what's going on in my with my life, as far as there's some things going on in my life that's scaring me. And it just seems like people don't understand how it's bothering me. Because I don't feel like, well, I have a mother who's not doing well right now. We're going to get her fixed up. But she's not doing well right now. And everything she has going on is dangerously life threatening. And she's older. She's stuck in her ways. She don't trust doctors. She don't stay around. She signs herself out of hospital. She does all kind of stuff. And today was the first day that we got her to let them admit her. She's still claiming they got 1 day till tomorrow, which there's no damn way. But I tried to explain what's going on to others. And they want to hoot and holler at me, telling me I got to be so damn negative. I'm not being negative. You see, I know how to read hospital charts. I know how to read blood work. I know how to look at x-rays. I know how to read x-rays. I know what all the medical terminology means. So, at the hospital, they have this thing called My Chart. And a lot of hospitals have it. Where everything that they're doing is constantly getting loaded to your My Chart. And that's so, if you ever want your medical records, you don't have to come to the hospital and get them. You just go right to your My Chart. And I'm going through and I'm comparing everything because we've been to the hospital like 8 times in the last 2 weeks. And every time they're drawing blood work, they're doing x-rays, they're doing different things trying to solve these issues. So I'm going through a chart and I'm looking and I'm seeing things that are getting worse. And I told our peoples that if she doesn't let them fix her, she's not going to make it. Oh, you got to be so damn negative. Listen, let me explain something to you. I'm here. I'm watching this shit every day. It's breaking my heart every single day. I'm watching my mother not being able to do this, not being able to do that, not being able to just live how she's been living. She wasn't bothering anyone. She just wanted to be left alone in her apartment when she wasn't working. That's all she wanted to do. And this sickness came upon her. But she don't want to trust doctors and all this. And I'm going through all her medical charts. I'm going through all her test results. I'm going through all of it. And I'm reading to her. I'm telling her what's going on. And she don't want to hear it. She knows I'm telling her what it is, but she just doesn't want to hear it. And I can understand that. Because I have sort of the same phobia. if I'm going to go out, I don't want to know I'm going out. Especially if it's something that can't be fixed. I don't want to be told that I got something and my days are numbered. I understand that fear more than anyone could imagine. But I'm not going to have someone just because they're her family, just because they're a daughter, a cousin, a uncle, a sister, or whatever they are to. You're not going to tell me shit because I got to watch it every day. I'm not getting secondhand knowledge. And then I'm not talking on the phone with somebody that's trying to minimize what's going on because they want to justify why they're signing themselves out the hospital. I'm watching doctors beg her to stay. I'm watching doctors saying, you're going to leave here and have cardiac arrest, and it's over. I'm in these ERs with all, like, literally, when she gets there, just about every nurse and doctor that's there is attending to her. It's like that. That's not no virus. That's not no cold. That's not no under the weather. That's trauma. That's they know that they gotta get their heads together and figure out what the hell is this, what's causing this, what's going on, because she might not make it. And what is she doing? You gonna leave me out here? Because everybody else, what their opinions on what I'm saying and what I'm doing are not telling the truth. And the truth is, she's all I have left. I'm not talking about people that's 8 hours away from me, states away from me. I'm talking about in my day to day life. That's it. Everyone else is gone. everyone. And when and if God, God is forgive, God is forbid something was to happen, I'm gonna have to deal with that shit by myself. Truth is what I'm telling. And the real truth is, I can't deal with nothing else like that by myself no more. I'm all dried out. It's almost like it's almost like it's almost like if something was to happen and she went, I might as well go too. And I'm not saying that lightly. I'm saying that because the truth is, nothing here, there's nothing here around for me. Everything has been taken unjustly over lies. And I know what misery I would be in. And I can't take no more of that misery. Since 2022, it's been loss after loss. I can't take no more. So, she's staying there. talk about she's old. I say, hey, mom, you're you're like 13, 14 years younger than the president that you hate so much. There's still life ahead. But you gotta handle it first. So, like I started off saying, there is no half-assed truth. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. I just know what I'm seeing every day. And it's bothering me. You know, it's one thing to be somewhere else and hear somebody's not doing well, and you just wait to get that phone call when they're all better, because that's what you expect. And then there's watching it every day, crying every day, listening to her screams where it hurts her, and to be helpless. That's true. Well, everything's going to be all right. I'm confident in that now. But that little bit of fear still lingers. I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic because I'm reading the science. Anyway, that's tonight's OmniCast. Yeah. Blessed be everyone. And hopefully tomorrow's a brighter day. I have faith it will be. In fact, I know it will be. But yeah, like as always, lunar love to you all. It's been an episode of the OmniCast. Speaking on truth. Always tell the truth, whether if you look good or bad. Can't knock somebody for telling the truth. Because at the end of the day, yeah, but it's getting late. It's been great chatting with y'all. As always, I appreciate it. And blessed be. Lunar love to you all.